Hello and welcome to episode 5 of On Ice Perspectives Live, the show that brings you the skater's point of view. Today is Friday, May 22nd, 2020, and with me today I have the king of backflips and the founder of Skate Global, Elladj Balde. Hey Elladj.
Woo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What up, Jordyn?
What up? Good to see you. It's so good to hear you. Like, you're out in LA right now, right?
I'm in LA, enjoying the beautiful weather. I'm so happy to be here. This quarantine time has been really good to enjoy because of the weather. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to be here.
Yeah, I know. It's same in New York. We've got nice big open windows. It's a beautiful time. Not a lot of tourists, so when we find the time to go outside and it's not too crowded, it's quite relaxing. So tell us.
Yeah, it must be really. Sorry, I was just gonna say it must be really cool to because it's the same in LA. Just quickly, like there's no traffic, no one's really driving, and so going to places has been so fun. We've been going to the beach, and it's been taking us 25 minutes from our place to go to the
Oh,
beach, which is unheard of. So yeah, it's probably the same in New York in terms of
yeah,
that kind of issue.
yeah. I mean, it's forced me to go outside in more untraditional times, like really early in the morning, before it gets crowded. And but yeah, on. Let's talk about skating for a second.
Let's
Um,
do it. Let's
so
do skate.
so first, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like where did you grow up skating? How was it like being a competitive skater for Canada?
Yeah, sure. So I started skating around the age of 6. My mom is the one that put me in the sport. I always tell people this because I think it's pretty funny. I actually hated the sport. I didn't like it when I started. My mom was a figure skater back in Russia when she was young, so she was very passionate about it. And so she instilled that passion in me, but it took some time for me to give in. I tried everything to stop skating at some point. Around the age of like 6, 7 till like 12, I would hide my skates in my closet. I'd tell my mom that I lost my skates. She would go through my stuff, find my skates, throw them in my bag, bring me to the rink, and say, "Go skate." So when I was young, I didn't have a choice, and I didn't like being cold, falling all the time. There's a lot of things that I didn't enjoy until I started realizing that I actually had something to give, and I started enjoying the performance side of things, and that's when things became clearer to me that that might be something that I want to pursue. Especially jumps when I was young was something that I was very, very excited about. I loved jumping, and when I started landing jumps that were more difficult to do, I remember being super excited. And that feeling is when you land a new jump is so exciting. So I started falling for the sport, and now I live from it. I live with it. I identify a lot of my fulfillment in my life comes from performing and being on the ice and connecting with the crowd. So
Yeah.
so that's just how I started. But yeah, my competitive career was there was a lot of there was a lot of time spent on having to discover what it is that I wanted to do with it and where was my place in the figure skating world, especially on the competitive side, because there was a point in my life where growing up, it's like the Olympics is your dream. For me, growing up with the Russian culture, I was going to be Olympic champion or else I've failed. That's kind of like growing up. That's kind of where my head was at. And when I came to realization that, I'm actually not going to be Olympic champion, it was pretty, it was hard to swallow. And I remember being like, well, why am I doing this? What's the point? What's the reason behind my this journey? And I had to go through a process of rediscovering my love for the sport, because my intentions had to change, because they were very external, and I had to turn inwards and try to figure out what it is that calls me to be on the ice. And that process really changed my career, because when I went through that, and I really realized the reasons why I wanted to do this, that's when things changed. And my competitive career just took off, and I had my highest successes after that, because of where everything was coming from. It was coming from a deeper place, and I was finally skating from a place where I felt like it was true to me. And so my competitive journey brought me to this point now where I am able to skate from my truth, and I am able to connect with people, because I went through this competitive journey where I have to find my groove, find my place,
I think we see a lot of that passion and that the things that you've learned through your experience. We see it portrayed in your skate global camps, which we'll talk about later in this show, and also with you as a performer. And so the footage that we're going to be watching today is actually stuff we captured back in December 2019 at Javier Fernandez Revolution on Ice in Madrid. So let's get started and show these people like what it means to be you on the ice.
Sure.
So this is some behind the scenes footage I captured. Just getting on the ice with you guys.
With my friend Luca and Olivia. If Luca's watching, I don't know if he is, but I love you, man. I miss you. What's that? Oh yeah. Wow. That was a beauty.
That's how we get warmed up.
That's how we get warmed up. Yeah. The ice in Madrid was pretty small, so it took a second to adjust to the size, for sure. Out of the whole tour, it was definitely the smallest rink. So, I think throughout the whole few days there, it was a constant battle of trying to figure out, okay, how do I fit all of this on the ice, and try to find my reference points. Mm-hmm. It was a constant battle.
I'm gonna read some of these comments.
And then here,
just quickly, Laura Kutlowski says, "Hey Jordyn, Elladj, fun to see you guys." I think you might have met her.
Hey, what's up, Laura? Yeah, of course. We worked together a little bit on the skate Nepal.
Yeah, we'll have to have a special episode where we talk about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the setup part. This is tech rehearsal, tech runs. We were trying to figure out where the lighting cue was going to be for the beginning of this number, and it was a little confusing, because the rinks, especially this one, because it was a bullfighting arena. It's literally shaped like a circle. It's an oval, so everything looks the same. And throughout the tour, the opening, the tunnel onto the rink was different almost every show, and so it was very, very, very confusing to figure out which side I was supposed to be standing on. And so I remember literally before every performance in Madrid, I would stand there before the music starts in the show, and I was like, I hope I'm standing in the right spot. I hope that the lighting cue is going to be right here, because if it's not, this is going to be a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, the good news is this was like 360 degrees. Every single degree, there were people in this stadium. Yeah. And so at the very least, there's no wrong way to look. It was just a sea of people all the way to the ceiling.
Yeah, no, it was actually pretty incredible to skate in that arena, and the way it's shaped. Because first of all, Spain has one of the best crowds in the world. I want to say probably the loudest crowd I've ever heard, especially when Javi steps onto the ice. But because of the way it was shaped, the sound was 10 times stronger than any other arenas that I've ever been at. So you could literally feel it through your body, everything. you could feel the vibration of people's voices. It was, yeah, it was absolutely incredible. All right, here we go. Here we go.
I think it's fun that
Yeah, and
we're watching this and we can hear your commentary on your own skating.
yeah, well, I this number was created to be performed on a much bigger ice than this, so it was quite the challenge to try to figure out how to fit everything. And I think you can see it right here. Yeah.
Sorry, I know this is unorthodox, but we've got to play that back.
We have to play it back. Look at oh my God. Man,
Yeah.
and I've come close a few times in my career to hitting the boards, but this is definitely one of the closest ones, and what would have been the most expensive one, because those LED screens are definitely quite expensive, and I would have it would have been pretty bad if my blade would have went through that. Yeah,
would have been a nice glitch.
It would, yeah, it would have. But it's so crazy because I often I think here I placed myself in the right way, because I actually rehearsed the triple sow before performing, whereas the backflip triple toe, the first time I did it in that rink was for this video, for this tech
rehearsal.
So that was the first time I was trying it. Yeah, so the first time I was trying it on the ice, and so I had no idea how close I was going to get and how short the rink was. So that was pretty scary. I knew I was close, but I didn't realize how close I was.
Mm-hmm. I think it says so much about like your flexibility, like not just in terms of body flexibility, but your mental flexibility to be able to adapt to new situations so fluidly.
Yeah, well, I think skating kind of helps you with that, because when you're thrown, when you go out to NHK for the Grand Prix, you show up 2 days, 2 days before, you have a couple days of practice, and you learn how to adapt fast. I think that's something that the skating world has given me for sure, and just in general, like on a day-to-day basis, we switch rinks so often, and we just have to get it done. I think that's one of the things that is the most important in the professional world, is like and in the competitive world, it's like you have to get it done no matter what. And so you have to have that open mindedness to adapt to any situation, and just and not let that stop you from what am I going to do? Is it another backflip? Oh. Oh my God.
So close. I mean, look, you sprayed ice on, it's covered in plastic right now.
Onto the LEDs. Yeah. Yeah. Onto the LEDs. I definitely, from this tech run, I think I realized I need to practice some of those tricks before getting on a tech run, because, you need to, there's ways you can adapt that are much safer than trying it for the first time when you're going through a run through. So,
well, speaking of which, like here's a good example. Now this is just during regular practice, I think later that day or maybe the next day, but you wanted to enhance your backflip to triple flip into a backflip to a triple Lutz, which is just triple absolutely nuts. Yeah. And this is the first attempt.
And then woo!
Oh, that
came really close. Oh my God, yeah. I needed a hug from Mr. David, because he was like, dude, you're gonna kill yourself right now. Oh my God. Yeah, that was really close. So that's what you're supposed to do, I guess. You're supposed to go through it a couple times in practice to see what's the size that you're dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so close. And with the backflip triple Lutz, it's like backflip triple toe is, you don't need that much speed, because a triple toe is it's easier to do after a backflip, but triple Lutz is such it's really in the rhythm. It's like when you land a backflip, you have to immediately find the rhythm and get into the Lutz, because if you don't have that rhythm, it's just not gonna happen. And with a small rink, it's like you rush the timing so quickly because it's you got
Yeah. Well, that's this
and
like
it
the Lutz being kind of a counter. It really matters. You need to have a consistent speed going into it, one that you know really well. And I think for you and for most skaters, you want to go into a Lutz with speed. So this thing that you say right
yeah
here, um, you say to me, I'm going to go a little bit slower so I have more time.
yeah
And it was that.
yeah
And once you figured that out, uh, it was amazing how it just clicked.
is that when it happened?
This is when, yeah, as soon as you figured it out, it was immediately like you got it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, yeah, it was yeah, it was about the speed. I think I associate, like for example, going into triple axel, going into quad, it's like the speed increases. But what I learned throughout my career too is that like for me is like when I slow the speed down, I'm able to I have so much more time in terms of being present in the movement because the more speed you have, the harder it is to slow down your process, and I think that's when so that's what I had to figure out. I had to figure out that basically just slow the speed down, you have more time and more space. So
And once you did it, I was
it
like,
seems like an easy thing to figure out.
it was really cool was feeling how ready you were for another one. I was like, can you do another one? I just want to get a better angle on it. And this was the second one you did, right after the
Yeah.
first one. Although we did have to wait because on a small ice like that, everybody's
There's a
practicing.
Yeah, yeah, that was another challenge, another factor is that when there's people, doing their thing on the ice on a small surface, you learn how to you just have to learn how to navigate all of that. It's really about adapting. Like I'm really realizing that all of that and everything we do is about adapting to situations, and that's how you
Hmm.
can be successful at it. Boom. Oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I'm including our
That's
little.
so cool.
This is the edit if you happen to have seen it.
Yeah, oh man. And I gotta say, the musicality and the way that you edited that just enhanced this video times a million. Like the trick is already pretty cool, and then the way that you like that back and forth, and then the slow mo, and then the fast forward, and then slow mo again. Oh man, it's so cool to see. It's so what a good edit. Seriously, thank you for making it that way. And also, I got to say that you pointed it out, and for people when you see it on Instagram, you'll notice that there's chips of ice flying towards the camera, which is pretty cool. It adds a little bit of a dynamic to it.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite part. Was just seeing all that spray land right.
This right there, boom, right through the camera. So cool.
Like no special effects there. That's
So
just skating.
that's how we do it. That's how we do it, man. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next.
Yeah. So
Uptown Funk.
actually, Talib asks, "What gave you the idea to do Bruno Mars?" I might be spoiling it for those who don't know. This is your Uptown Funk program. You just
Uptown
love.
Funk. Honestly, I've always been such a fan of Bruno Mars and his way of not only his musicality and as an artist, but his performance quality is so on point. He's so in the pocket. He understands how to convey what he wants to when he's performing, and I've always been really attracted to that. And when this song came out, it was actually my sister's idea. She was like, "Dude, you should skate to that song," and I listened to it, and I was like, "Actually, you know what? The composition of this song is perfect." Did I slip there?
Yeah, you slipped. I mean, this was a
The
run through of a show. Yeah, basically.
yeah, the composition of this song is just so perfect for a skating show that I right away immediately I was like, okay, I gotta get it done. And then obviously I was inspired by his music video and his style of movement. None of those. I mean, some of those movements are mine, but some of them are originals from his movement. And it's such a cool style and so laid back, but also so entertaining and powerful at the same time that I thought that this would be a pretty cool thing to do. And like I was saying earlier, this song is so timeless. You know, it's like it's been 5 years that I've been performing this number, and every time it comes on, like the crowd just goes for it. They start clapping, they start singing, they start doing the whoop every time that the opportunity is there. And so the song being so timeless, I think that's what makes it so successful. You know, and I love performing this number more than honestly, it's one of my favorite numbers that I have to perform, because you know, every time it's like the crowd has such a great reaction to it, and for me, and little trip right there. Honestly, I think that's I think that was the day after I flew back from Calgary, because this was over
Yeah.
Christmas time, and I flew. I think we had a show. I think I can't remember what was the last city before going before Christmas, but I flew from Spain to Calgary for 2 days. I was in Calgary for 2 days, and then flew back to Spain, and then that was the next day. And so I was literally in the span of 72 hours, or you know, I was just traveling the whole time. I
Yeah.
think I was on a plane longer than I in Calgary, and so I was definitely very, very tired, and you could definitely tell after that backflip that I didn't have enough energy to stop myself from from going into the LEDs. Yeah, I was definitely exhausted.
Well, at least we had that was just a rehearsal day. Because I think the same thing for me. I
Yeah,
left New York on December 26th and then flew to London, slept for about 3 to 4 hours in London, and then went to Madrid, flew straight there,
right.
and then literally landed on the ice with you guys.
Yeah. I remember you came in straight from the airport.
Oh, it was so much
This video
fun.
was pretty cool.
This Yeah,
Yeah.
this video did so well. I didn't even post it with sound. It was just like the
Oh,
speed and filling up an ice rink, as small as it was. Like
yeah.
I feel like that's even more challenging, because to get that much speed on a smaller circle, the forces on you are just insane.
Right. Yeah, the GForce is pretty heavy, and that's when you want to make sure that your angles are right and that your sharpening is good.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if your sharpening is off, oh God, things could go wrong pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's those are some nice little clips here of a few jumps, little double axle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I decided I was gonna try and work on triple axle again. I think was that
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was the first try of a triple axle since the summer, I think since June. So that was December. So yeah, 6 months. Um, yeah, it's not bad for a first try. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah. I was like, that's for the first time in 6 months. I didn't expect you to get it right away, but like, great
Yeah,
attempts. Especially, I love it when people can have a landing like that and still stay upright, you know?
stay on their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think that that's something that you definitely build throughout the years. But yeah, it's those kind of landings are sometimes very satisfying, because you feel, you know that something's off, and you're not sure. Sometimes you're not sure how it's going to end. But when it does end in a way that you fought to stay up and to stand on your feet, it's very satisfying for sure.
Yeah. And just a quick, before we move into our next section where we talk about Skate Global, Sandy Kovacs has a question. She says, "Hi, Elladj. Watched you on Battle of the Blades in Canada. Your work is amazing. What advice would you give novice skaters in terms of interpretation and creativity?" So good. That's a big
Um,
question.
yeah, that's it's a great question. Thank you for asking that, and also thank you for your kind words. Um, for me, because I went through this process too, where I had to at some point I had to figure out, because in skating we're very everything's sometimes is very linear. You're given music, you're given choreography, and then you just execute. And so it's sometimes hard to really even know that you're on this path of that doesn't that doesn't allow creativity to expand. And what I realized throughout my years is that what I needed to do first was to become vulnerable and to allow myself to explore. I think exploration is one of the most important things that you can do in terms of if you want to become a performer, if you want to be someone that that wants to create, you have to explore. You have to be in a state of vulnerability because it's scary. It's not easy to put yourself out there, even if you're at the rink with your headphones on. You know, we have so many things going through our minds. You know, we're constantly thinking not only about what other people might think of what we're doing right now, but also we're judging ourselves. You know, and when you're judging yourself and you're in your state, you're in a state of mind that's up here, you're not able to go down into your heart and tap into what's inside. And when you're able to tap into what's inside of you, that's when you're able to actually connect with what you want to do. And so I think the first step is really to allow yourself to put self-judgment at the door, to leave also all thoughts that of judgment of others that you might be thinking about you. I think that's definitely the first step. And then the second is just to explore. Just put music on, try to just try to move in ways that you might not think your body ever liked to move, and then you get to explore and get to know yourself as a mover and as a performer. I think those are important things to do.
I think at the novice level, especially, it's a very special level that you reach in skating, where it's time to kind of like start to think about who you are as a skater and what artistic uniqueness you're going to bring towards your career that you don't really get quite as much at the intermediate level, and at junior you're kind of already expected to have. So I think taking your time at novice, moving on to what I was going to mention, which is your skate global camp. I felt like as a novice skater, that was exactly the kind of camp that I needed to go to start to understand what my purpose was, where, it wasn't just about jumps and spins and elements, but you really helped people connect with themselves and feel really comfortable in their own bodies. It was great.
Absolutely. I think that is such an important thing to bring in skating, because I myself suffered for years. It's like I was so focused on the technical aspect of the sport, and in a way it's like the sport is built in a way that it doesn't we're judged when we skate. That's what the sport is about. There's a panel. You're judged by coaches, by other skaters, by obviously by judges, by the audience. So it's like you're constantly judged in a way that doesn't allow you to grow your creativity. And I think that because the sport is built that way, it was hard for me to, at some point in my life, be like, okay, I want to explore this, but how do I do this? And then I felt shy, I felt uncomfortable. And so it's important to create a safe space for people to explore. And that's what we want to bring at in our workshops. It's create a safe place to be like, hey, this is a place for you to explore whatever you want to explore. There's no one's judging you. We're all in this together. We're all exploring, and that allows skaters to feel safe and to be like, okay, I'm going to try this, and I might look ridiculous, but I know no one here is going to judge me. And that's how it starts. Yeah. That's how the spark begins. And then once you really tap into that and you realize that there's nothing you can really do that can make you feel embarrassed unless you see it that way, And so when you have that kind of power later, it's like, okay, I can do whatever I want because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I connect with what I'm doing. And so I don't really care if other people think it's silly or it doesn't make sense. I'm enjoying it. And that kind of power is incredible. It's one of the most amazing feelings you can have, and it's extremely fulfilling. So that's what we try to bring, and that's what we try to create in with Skate Global and our workshops and the Move at Home thing right now. Obviously we're in such a special time right now where we're separated physically, but I more than ever I've connected with people more than I ever have, which is crazy because
Yeah.
we call it social distancing, but in a way it's only physical distancing, and I feel like I've been more social that I've ever been. And so what an incredible time to actually connect. And that's what my fiance and I, Michelle, that's what we wanted to create in the skating community, is like, how can we come together and explore together and expand our comfort zones and inspire each other and in ways that we might not have done before. And I think that that's something that we really wanted to create with this Move at Home. Every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Hmm.
California time, we teach a dance class. And this week, sorry, we had 300 people
Seriously.
dancing with us. 300 people logged on our Zoom class, and we all danced together. We all shared together. We all connected, and we had the pleasure to have Christy Yamaguchi and Meryl Davis to come in and share a few words with our people. And I think that we're just creating a community and a sense of a family that is much needed in this time.
Hmm. And I love that every week, to basically be admitted to the class, you're encouraged to donate, and you're picking a different charity every week. So last week
Mhm.
was figure skating in Detroit, which is an amazing cause. I've had the pleasure of working with figure skating in Harlem here in New York, and to see them expand and to see people pick it up and learn about these movements, it's just amazing. But speaking of the Zoom classes, like I've been in two now, and it's just so much fun to feel like you're sharing the same experience with everybody at the same time, kind of like this live show. You're all there in real time, but at the same time, you feel comfortable with being yourself because you're in your own living room. But what was so special about your event last summer, which I can't wait for this to happen again. I know we had to cancel it this
Yeah,
year, but I wanted to share
yeah.
a video that I got to be a part of. I got to film a lot of the footage along with Megan Gips, who's an amazing, talented editor that is a really good friend
Hmm.
of Michelle's, and she edited this whole thing
Hmm.
together with interviews and stuff. And I just want to share that with everybody because it is so good. It really shows everything that you were talking about in terms of like what it's like
Yeah,
to be in this camp.
yeah, and like I always say, you, Jordan, captured so well everything, all the emotion that we wanted to show. You captured it all, and Megan did the same with her editing and some of the footage that she took from interviews and stuff. It's like, everything that this workshop is about. You guys were able to capture it, and it was such an amazing time to come together. The skaters and the faculty and anyone that was there. I think we were all on the same page. We were all there for each other, to support each other, to be together, and to heal and empower each other and inspire each. It was just, it was just such a magical weekend. And obviously we're so sad, like you said, that this year, we're not going to be able to have it this year. But I think it's okay, and I think that we're going to come back next year, and it's going to be even better. People are going to be even more excited, and we're going to come back with new ways of teaching and new ways of doing things, and it's going to become another kind of beast.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said in the beginning, you had that kind of loss of faith in yourself as a skater at a young age, and I think it had nothing to do with you as a skater. It had everything to do with what was inspiring you. And so to see you
Yeah.
giving skaters what you felt like you didn't get to have enough of when you were younger, just that desire to skate, that desire to be yourself and appreciate what your own unique talents and qualities are. You see it in these camps. You see it in all of these kids reflected, like, look at them, they came in so shy, and you brought everyone was beaming.
Yeah, like a good point is like a lot of skaters that were there were shy because it's, usually a lot of seminars is like all the skaters are from the same club, whereas this was open to everyone. So a lot of people didn't know, didn't know anyone. And so obviously you come in there, it's very hard to open up, but right away we established that that is what we expect from everyone, is for you guys to open up, be vulnerable, be there to experience it in the way that you need to experience it, but allow yourself to be open. And everyone did. Like at the end, like some of those kids like created friendships that that they never thought they would have if it wasn't for them opening up in a way that that allowed them to do that. And I think that that's something that's probably the thing that's the most special about this weekend is how open people were. This picture, man.
Yeah.
Anna,
this is us at Revolution on Ice in December. Picture. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it's my hand and giving Anna,
you the. I know. It's very confusing, but you see Anna's head, popping out right there. She's always up to something. This little Anna Capolini, always up to something. Oh, I love her. I love you guys, man. I miss being with you guys, and obviously tour life is something that's very special. As much as I've enjoyed this time being home and being present and working on things that I didn't necessarily would have prioritized before from tour, but I definitely miss my friends on tour and being able to experience traveling and performing with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing for sure, it's that we, the longer we're staying inside, the longer we're keeping our distance from people, the sooner we'll be able to go back to how things were before, I think. Totally. Or at least, we're coming out of it a much smarter, more educated population. Everyone's been working on their hobbies. You have been doing these weekly classes, which I think have connected people as well as any in-person seminar could have connected people.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much, Elladj, for being on the show. I guess if we have time, since we have a couple minutes, I just wanted to give you a few more questions that people were asking earlier.
Let's do it.
This isn't a question. This is just a compliment. Best program ever. The Sound of Silence. Never going to forget that skate at your final nationals. Yeah.
Thank you. This was definitely, I mean, not only the highlight of my career, but it allowed me to leave the competitive world feeling fulfilled and feeling like I'm enough, and obviously that's something that we all search for in the competitive world. And I feel like I achieved it right before performing that short program. I felt like if my career were to end before this, I feel like I've done enough. And then this beautiful gift came into my life. And so thank you. I really appreciate that. It was a special moment for me as well.
Sophia Laguerre. Oh, and I can't wait. I have that footage somewhere for that because you performed it at Ice Theater of New York, which was the first time I'd seen you in a long time. Back in 2018. Right. So I'll have to pull that one up and post it again. The whole thing.
That was right after. That was probably one of the first times that I. That was the first time I performed it since. Oh no, I did the fall. The spring tour. No, but that year was very special performing it.
Oh, I'll bring that back up. So,
what was the next question?
Sophia asked, "How long did it take you to get your backflip on the ice? It looks so good."
Oh, well, thank you. It definitely it should have taken longer. It definitely didn't take a lot of time because I was very young. I was 15. I definitely at that time felt like I was Superman, so nothing could break me. And I just kind of, I've always kind of been able to do backflips on the floor. And so I just took my coach and my friend and I put two towels. I took two towels, one in the front, one in the back, twisted them to do makeshift kind of harnessed. And I did about like 5 to 10 backflips with them kind of holding me. And after a point, they were like, dude, we're not doing anything anymore. You're pretty much doing it yourself.
You did it
I
with
just kind of went.
towels in your hand?
No, no, no.
Oh.
So I had one towel on my belly,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and then one towel on my back, and then on the sides they were twisted. And so one person was holding it on one side, and the other person was holding it on the other side.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't holding towels in my hands.
Okay. I'm picturing
Yeah.
you. I don't have the video on me, but you doing the backflip with the suitcases at Cirque.
Yeah, that was definitely not the brightest idea, especially because there were two different weights. If it's the same weight, you can make it happen. But when it's two different weights, it's like you got one going, the other one's not. It's just it's just no good. It's no good. Anyways,
Hannah Z
next.
asked, "What's your favorite song to skate to, Elladj?"
Oh my God, my favorite song. I think it depends. Honestly, it depends on the day. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. It depends on where I am in my life. But if I were to be able to go on the ice right now, the song that I would like to skate to is a song called "Surrender" by let me tell you right now, I have it right here. "Surrender" by Natalie Taylor. And it wouldn't be a song that I would perform to, because it's more of a, it's not like show material, but the depth in the music is so beautiful, and I just want to move to it. Honestly, I would love to move to it. But in my career, if I go back in time, honestly, every song I've skated to, I felt deeply connected to, and so it's very hard to pick. But I definitely say "Sound of Silence" is probably one of my favorites. Michael Jackson songs, the tribute that I did, those are very powerful and really deep with me because of my connection to Michael Jackson, and how inspired I was at a young age, and how much I looked up to him, for sure. So I would say that's my answer.
Nice. Oh man, we need to pull up that video of that you did with your Michael Jackson tribute at Detroit Skating Show with Adam. With Adam Rippon. Yeah.
Yes.
I hope that's on video somewhere. Brilliant. I know,
We gotta
right?
find it.
Long time ago. 2010 or 11 at least.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It just came into my
Yes,
head.
and he dressed up in the wig. He dressed up, and then he.
Oh, good times.
Oh my God, I'm gonna find it.
Elena
try to
asked,
find
would you considering touring with the Skate Global Workshop? It'd be awesome to have you in the UK.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's our goal. That's what we want to do. That's the path that we're on. We're expanding in Canada first, because we're very familiar with the market, but we were potentially going to go to Spain this year and Italy. So UK is not that far off, and it's on our list. So when that happens, we will let you guys know, because we would absolutely love to come to the UK.
Awesome. Okay, one last question. You can try to keep this brief, right? Because I want to hear it just like summarized for you. What would you call a quality performance for skating? Go.
Being in tune with yourself and your audience.
Perfect. That's awesome.
I don't know. This is what came to me.
Yeah, in tune with yourself and with your audience. I mean, that's really important. Definitely, like quality performance. I think this is outside of even competing as well. Just like being in tune with who you're doing it for and why you're doing it for yourself.
The intention behind it, all of that. Yeah.
Elladj, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to have you on Ice Perspectives Live, episode 5. Like, it's great to have you. And there's so much more to share, with the things that we've done together and the things that we will do together. You can't really see it because of my
Oh
mic,
yeah.
but I'm wearing my Skate Global shirt, which is an amazing.
Woo,
It
represent.
it goes well with a blazer actually because of this nice faded pattern. But I can't wait to be there with you on the next Skate Global camp. Again, it's just been a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jordyn, and thank you for doing this. I think this is great for the skating community. You're showing up in a very beautiful way, and I know I tell you this all the time, but you are changing the way people view skating, and it's an honor to be part of that with you. So, thank you, man. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for
All right.
watching. Be sure to tune in
Yes.
tomorrow. We've got more episodes, and I can't wait to have you back on the show, Elladj.
Oh, we'll be back. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you.
All right. Take care.